So let's take a look at exponents. Exponents and logs are related. They're sort of this, they have this sort of, they're similar to how division and multiplication are related. They're kind of inverses of one another. But they have a sort of weird sort of way that they relate. So let me see if I can explain it. So see how it says, everyone sees this little box you have here? Mm-hmm. So y equals log sub a to the x if and only if x equals a to the y. So, so you can kind of think of, I like to flip it around the other way. Personally, I do this. I do x equals log a to the y when y equals a to the x. Because we're kind of all familiar thinking of the y equals a to the x. So the way that I like to look at it is, we have our exponent, y equals a to the x. A is my base. Everybody agree with me? X is my exponent. And I kind of like to think of y as being like my answer. Does that sort of make sense? So y is the answer to a to the raised to the x power. So for the log works like this. So just take a second, take a deep breath in, let it out, focus on this for 30 seconds. You pick up this little weird, how these logs work, it'll be fine. Okay, you just have to remember these pieces. The log is, we have the base a, that's, remember it's always lower, so my base a of my answer equals my exponent. So it's saying, what's the exponent to the base a to get the answer y? So again, a is my base. They match up, right? This a is that a. It's my base. Y is my, I kind of think of like y is my answer. And x is just your regular ordinary exponent. That's the exponent.
It's really hard to see that.
Oh, it's too late. Okay, I'll try that again. Is all of them, is the purple hard to see too?
No,
Okay.
big yawn.
Okay. So that's the kind of basic idea of this. So here, I can write, so here, okay, let's say 2 to the x equals 32. What's my base? Everybody, what's my base?
2.
2. What's my answer?
32.
32. What's my exponent?
X.
X. Perfect. So I can rewrite this as x, the exponent, equals log base 2 of 32, of the answer, 32. Does that make sense for folks? So it's just this weird, funky thing. It's basically saying, what is the exponent that gives me 32? Like, 2 to what power, to what exponent gives me 32? That's what it's asking. So it's saying 2 raised to the x power is 32, right? So if you look at the sentences, and x is the exponent of 2 that gives 32. That's kind of what we're looking at. That's what this means. So 2 to what? 2 to what power gives me 32? Well, I don't know. 2 to the 1 is 2. 2 to the third is 4. And then second is 4. Third is 8. 16, 32. 2 to the 5th. Does everyone understand that? So since 2 to the 5th equals 32, so that means that x equals 5. Does everyone see how we did that? Okay, so let's everybody do it for the second one. So figure out what your base is. Figure out what your answer is. Figure out what your exponent is. And then rewrite it. There. And then solve for the variable. So you can do that for the next 3. Okay, so now we're just doing the opposite. Okay, so over here we found what our, we wrote it as, we rewrote exponents as logs. Now we're going to take our logs, rewrite them as exponents. So here, 3 is my base, x is my exponent, 27 is my answer. Here, 4 is my base, x is my exponent, 64 is my answer. The very last one, which is not on here, is there's no base. If there's no base, everyone see there's no base down here? You assume the base is 10. So 10 is my base. What's my exponent? 2. That has to equal my answer. 10 to the 3t. Yep.
Also,
Oh, that's
3D
the
is something to solve for.
Well, so what's t? So here's an interesting thing. If